That's Kona coffee, baby. No Wang in it. That's for Pete. You know what I realized the other day? I'm 67 years old, soon to be 68. I am of the retirement age, uh, but I am working in retirement. Most mornings, I wake up thinking already about what I should be doing. I should be making a video. I should be saving money. I should be getting more exercise. There's a reason I cut this off right here. I should be eating better, although I kind of am now. I should be getting things done around the house. Maybe like putting the Christmas tree away. It's part of the channel now. And it occurred to me that retirement isn't disappointing me, but I think it's the expectations I or we bring into retirement that makes things a little disappointing. I think I found some things in my life as I think a lot that are, I would say, I hate the, I don't know if the joy is the proper word, but maybe it's kind of taking away from enjoying these golden years. And what I realized, I'm the one doing most of these things that I have control over. Let me just start with this idea of when is retirement? What is retirement? And I know a lot of people consistently point out you're not retired because you're working. I'm going to put a little snapshot of a calendar notation I made. And it was that morning that I thought, you know what? I'm going to just claim it. I've hit it. I'm now retired. That was, as I mentioned before, not only applying for Social Security, but it was the day I received my first Social Security check. And no matter what my life looks like at that point, I am of the age and I am now in retirement. And what that looks like is different for every single person. I realize there's no one way to do it. And so many times I hear about and we talk about retirement as if there is a correct way to do it, as if there is a correct time to claim it. It's not. There's always some kind of voice going in my head about what it's supposed to look like. And for you, that looks like this. For me, it looks like this. But there are no two retirements that are exactly the same. So the first thing that I deal with, I try to accept about where I'm at in trying to, make the best of the way things have turned out is that quit trying to do it right and just do it and do it the best you can. That's what I'm doing today. Retirement was supposed to be a time when you stop working. But we know, especially if you're at this channel, my retirement looks like the majority of Americans right now. 80% choosing to still work, 50 to 60% having to work full time. It's not their choice. It changes what retirement looks like. It's not the ideal, but it is the reality. Who was it that decides that working means failing in retirement? It's a retirement fail. In this day and age, it is not. In this world, it is not. So that makes me change a little bit of the paradigm is if I control my retirement, just because I'll still choose to work, I am choosing it. But by doing that, my life, it gives me options in my life I still want to have right now. And working helps me and helps me have those kind of choices. Where I'm sacrificing is I'm giving up some of my time, and at this point, too much of my time to someone else. But that will change. These things I'm thinking about this morning are things that kind of make retirement seem like a bummer. Not retirement, but the way I'm choosing and also having to live my retirement kind of steals that joy. And the next one I was thinking about is I am afraid to spend money. Not just sometimes, but most of the time. I think twice, 3 or 4 times before I spend money. The only time I really don't think about it is when I go to Costco or Sam's Club. It's just, I'm spending money. But obviously, we're not going to spend recklessly. And if we are, shame on me. There's a difference between, being responsible with the money we've either live on through our savings, our pensions, our retirement funds, or the funds that we're currently continuing to earn. It's the same thing. We've got to let go a little bit about being comfortable with giving up that money to do something that brings us a little happiness or provides a little happiness for someone else, like my grandkids. We have to ask her what I have to think about. What's this money for? After my basic simple needs are met, after I've simplified my life and I'm comfortable with my budget, what am I doing there? The only thing I can think of that in my mind that I really worry about is I got to save every penny. Why? For a rainy day, for the day that comes that I end up in the hospital, that I have a health event, and then life's over. But I've chosen, and I'm getting more comfortable with deciding that if that day comes, it comes. I can't, and you can't save enough money for that day. The second to the last thing I've thought about is probably the most detrimental to enjoying retirement and enjoying these days that I have control over more so than I ever have. Um, and that is putting things off. And if you're a procrastinator like me, this is a problem. We're going to not do something until we're going to do that someday. I say that all the time. Even the most important things like I planning to go see the grandkids at this point soon / someday. I need to really put that as a priority. I'll say things like, I'll do that when I have more time. I'll take that trip someday. Yeah, go to Cambodia. I'll call that person tomorrow. I'll make this video soon. I'll make this video this week. We all have heard it before. Some days don't come. And most people that are dying, when they ask them questions, they talk about don't wait. And, the reality of guys is it's a part of my everyday. You can't do everything today. I think it's important to make sure you're doing the important things today or committing to doing them soon. Lastly, I'll just say that retirement, I thought, or the years considered in retirement. And for me, that was 65 when my first Social Security check arrived because I took it a little bit early. I kind of expected things to be, I don't know, perfect or really happy. And most of the things are because I've come to grips with so many things and I've released so many things that were tormenting, say, that tormented me throughout my life. You learn to let go, you learn to forgive, you learn to be thankful. I guess I'm going to say it this way. You have less reasons to get up in the morning. So if you choose laying on the couch watching YouTube, as I do many mornings, nothing gets done. And you start to lose your happiness at that point. Retirement doesn't automatically give you more friends, deeper purpose, better health, or reasons to live today. This is the part where you have to still live your life. You have to build things. And that's pretty cool because that's the exciting thing, I think, now at this time in life, that if we choose to do it, we choose to keep learning, have some goals, have some hobbies, start a YouTube channel, build relationships, find a community, whether it be locally or online. I know a lot of people are very much against the online stuff, but man, communities online are active, they're meaningful, if you build it right. So anyway, happiness just doesn't show up in retirement, but it's certainly available if you choose it. This is something I'm accepting as I figure it out. Retirement isn't something you finally get right. It wasn't even a process of doing something right. It is in its elementary levels, but we've all landed here. I would wager to say if we took 100 of us and put them in a room, every single journey to this point in time has been different. Different levels of blessing, different levels of challenges. And it has brought those things brought us here today and why we're here today. It's just life. I'm still working, still worry about money, still worry about my health, even more so than maybe in the past. But I'm not trying to build the perfect retirement. I'm not trying to be perfect in retirement. Is there something that steals your happiness or your joy in retirement? Is it a regret? Leave a comment. Maybe we'll talk about that in a future live. All right, I've said all that to say this. This came to my mind as I was thinking about this particular video. There's a part of where we sit in silence sometimes and think about what if we could do it over, what we would do, which would then make life today where we've arrived better. And I know some of us optimists out there go, "Are you crazy? I would never think like that." There's some of us that do, even though, like I said, I've learned to accept where I'm at and feel good about it. But what's even worse is maybe having the feeling that it's still not working out. Case in point, I got to continue working at this juncture. You've got to continue working, or you've got to go back to work after retiring because you need a new roof. And all of a sudden, that $30,000+ hit against your retirement scares you a little bit, or whatever it may be. One of the things I think I've learned to do at this time in life is, first and foremost, and the most important thing, is be thankful, be grateful. I was walking into Sam's Club yesterday and feeling kind of bummed, feeling a little stressed out for various reasons. And I thought, hey, man, I'm walking into Sam's Club. I've got the money to spend. I'm going to get some good stuff. And I'm going to be thankful for that. Thank God for this, that I woke up this morning, that my health seems to be stable. I'm doing good. I feel pretty good. I'm grateful for that. I did spend $100, a hundo, but it was all good stuff. I had no frivolous spending on that trip, as most of my trips end up now with, because I don't need that stuff. I don't need it. That felt good. And then later, yesterday, I called my grandgirls on their hotline, their personal phone. They have that landline thing, actually works through Wi-Fi. I call them and they answered. That was the best thing that happened to me in a long time, is hearing Emma's voice and being excited that Pop had called. And she knew it was me because I'm like the only one that uses it lately. So when that phone rings, they know it's me. And she was excited. Beat that in retirement. We talked about what's been going on. I talked to my other grandgirl, Goldie, asked her how she liked in school, what her favorite subjects were. She said music and art, probably. Probably. And I said, what don't you like about going? She said, I don't like the principal's office. I'm thinking my retirement isn't something to do to get right. There is no best way to do it. It's just life, doing life the best way I can right now. I still procrastinate. I still have wasteful moments with money. I still get angry. I still worry. I'm thinking my goal is to just pay attention today of the things that I have today, the retirement I have, and understand that I'm in control of changing that. I'm getting very close to saying, okay, I don't need to work like this. I'll make it work another way. So the retirement I had today is I was able to spend $100 at Sam's Club, get the things I need, talk to my grandkids, and have a day off of work. And hear the grandkids get excited that Pop called them. What am I going to do today? I actually have a live today to do with the What's Up Boomer channel. Looking forward to that because there's some characters that show up to that thing. I don't know.